Drink beer, it's good for you. I'm empty-handed and I'm feeling blue, and I'm gonna drink till the day that I die.
Hello and welcome to the video. In this video I will be sharing my Christmas stout recipe and method. I do apologise greatly for mentioning Christmas already. Yes, I realise that it is still October, but from a brewer's perspective we really need to get going on brewing our Christmas beers around this time to make sure that they are properly conditioned and tasting at their very best in time for the festive season. You may also question my choice for brewing a stout for Christmas. Well, my reasoning is as follows. Dark beers are definitely a great pairing for the winter. And besides, I do really love a good stout, but I guess that must come through loud and clear by the amount of it that I brew throughout the entire year. It would be fair to say that this beer can actually be brewed and enjoyed at any time of the year. It doesn't fall into the category of being a Christmas beer and having Christmas spices added, which frankly was what I wanted to avoid this year, and such beers get rather tiring pretty fast for me, my friends and also my family. If you were to brew this beer pretty soon, then you will have a beer by Christmas that will have some very interesting flavours. Something that your taste buds will really discover new flavours within each sample from your glass. A beer fit for a special occasion. Let's have a sneaky peek at the recipe and see what's behind all of this. Do note that this is a 19 litre or 5 US gallons batch. I use the regular pipe work that you get with the Grainfather. The end beer will actually be on the sweet side and would be ideal as a pairing with dessert. Here we have no less than 11 different malts that all play a role in making this one very tasty stout. Do note the lack of pale ale malt. There is also just one hop addition. This is very much a malt forward beer that is further enhanced by the Jamaican dark rum and chocolate cream essences. This is indeed a beer of indulgence. And it's also a beer that will reach out to people that don't always like beer. So this fits the criteria of making it a nice Christmas beer that everyone can enjoy. You will find this recipe is repeated in the YouTube description, and I've also shared it on the Grainfather cloud. Okay, so before we get started with the brew, here's a quick look at my grain crush, which is of course the heart of any brew. Here I am stirring the last of this grain into my strike water, and you can see already the kind of colour that this beer is going to have. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see here that as I'm finalising this mash, that we've got a nice amount of foam actually coming up already. This shows a great deal of promise, and I have to say the last time I brewed this I was so satisfied, so I'm really looking forward to this one coming of age and enjoying it over Christmas. If you would like some more information about perfecting your mash, then please pause the video now. If not, I will continue. So let's have a look at the mash schedule for this one. So we start off with mash in at 69 degrees C or 156 degrees Fahrenheit, and that lasts for 60 minutes. And then we do our mash out at 75 degrees C or 167 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. The end result of this schedule will be lots of body and some sweetness in this beer, and naturally you can accentuate that further by using the same yeast that I have, or if you'd like it a little bit drier, then use something like M44 or similar. Time for the sparge now, and as always I sparge by hand for the very best results. Pause now to see more information on sparging. So I now pick up the brew and we've just hit the boil. So I'm now giving this head of essentially protein a good stirring in. Now there are a couple of different ways that you can go with this, and I'll explain these now for you. Firstly, as I'm doing here, I'm actually stirring this protein in to the beer, whereas other people believe that they actually get a better result by actually removing this foam altogether from the beer. I would suggest that you try both methods in the same beer brew and make your own choice as to which result you prefer. One thing that doesn't have a choice when it comes to your boil is that you must give that bottom plate a bit of a scraping with your spoon periodically. I do this every 20 minutes and it makes sure that everything runs smoothly in terms of deposits on the bottom of your plate that could cause you difficulties. Please pause the video now if you'd like more hints and tips on your boil. You will note that this recipe also contains lactose or milk sugar, and I would recommend that you use the following method for putting this into your boil. To do this method you'll need everything that I show on the screen right now, so a bowl and a whisk, and also some sort of container that you can use to transfer the wort into that bowl. Then add the lactose directly to this boiling hot wort, and then you start to whisk it up to break it all up. The problem with this stuff and sugars in general is that if they do actually hit the bottom plate of your brewing system, then they can burn. So we want to amalgamate as much of this sugar in with our wort as possible. And with lactose that's very easy because it dissolves fairly fast when you do exactly what I'm showing you here. So now this is all whisked up and dissolved, it becomes just liquid and very easy to add to the rest of your wort ready for brewing. And then last but not least, our yeast nutrient now goes into the boil. So it's now about 9 minutes to the end of the boil, and what I've done is I've paused the actual boil timer and I'm running boiling hot wort through my counterflow chiller to sterilize it. And the reason I'm doing this now is that at the end I will be doing that much needed whirlpool, and of course the wort will not be at boiling point after I finish that, and this thing needs to be sterilized of course. So it's now time for our whirlpool, and as you can see I'm using the Grainfather whirlpool and aeration paddle. I've noticed on various Facebook forums for the Grainfather that a lot of people are buying these. And that's great because it's a really nice tool to have. For new users of this paddle, I would recommend that they do not put the paddle deep into their wort. Not only is this not necessary, but it will also avoid you whirlpooling your filter off. Also, if your drill has various speed settings, then you should try it on the slowest first, and it will probably be enough. Before I used mine in a brew, I actually filled my Grainfather with just water and tested it in various different ways. This would certainly be a useful use of time for all. When you use a drill in this way for your whirlpool, it's obviously an awful lot easier and it's quicker. Generally speaking, 1 to 2 minutes of this is all you're going to need, and then follow it by a rest afterwards. I would suggest you go from anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, 15 minutes being optimal before you move to the chilling phase. The reason for this is that we want all of that trub to actually go down to the bottom of the system, and if you don't give it time to filter down, then you've really negated everything that you've just done. Enough said. If you'd like to see more information about whirlpooling, then please pause the video now and read the text that's on your screen. Okay, so on to the chilling phase now, and what I've done is I've actually hooked up this hook which actually allows me to pour my wort from a height into the fermenter. The idea of this is that it actually creates oxygen within our wort that is very nice for our yeast. While the wort actually transfers into the fermenter, what I've done is I've given the whirlpool and aeration paddle a good clean, and I've now got it sitting in star sand so that it's sanitary and ready for the next phase. Right, so it's fun time again. Here I am adding more oxygen into my wort using the paddle attached to a drill. I can almost hear my yeast cheering in its packet, as this will create the perfect environment for it to thrive. The other thing that is within the recipe for this brew is the use of essences. Now, I did cover these in a past video, the title of which is on your screen now. Have a look at this one so that you know exactly what to do with these and how to add them for the best. And here's a picture of that all-important score at the end of the brew. Bang on target. I could not be happier. Especially when I actually find that I have 1 litre more beer than I actually planned on brewing. So yeah, some adjustments needed there of course, but then more is always better than less. And there you have it. We're done for another brewing video. I hope you enjoyed watching this and found it both interesting and useful. I certainly enjoyed doing this brew and putting this video together for you guys. Please do let me know what you think. And if you're about to give this video a thumbs down for whatever reason, don't just do that. Please let me know what the problem was, and then I can fix it. I do actually have a 99% like rate on my channel, which I'm pretty happy with, but I'd really like to make it 100%, so if you thumbs down guys could just let me know where I'm going wrong, that would be good for everyone, hey? So if you did like this video, then please do like it on YouTube. This really helps me out and allows the videos to be seen by a wider audience on YouTube. I have always got a lot of new videos planned for the future, so if you are interested in seeing my new content, then please subscribe for future content. If you have any questions on anything that I have covered in this video or any other video, then please do not hesitate to get in touch with me via YouTube or Facebook. I'm a member of pretty much every Grainfather Facebook group and more. Happy brewing!